Hey guys, Levi here with Trident Fly Fishing, and today we're going to be tying an ultra shrimp. This is a fly pattern designed by Bob Popovics to imitate sand shrimp. It does a good job with grass shrimp as well. And it'll catch anything from bonefish, striped bass, weakfish, fluke, anything that eats shrimp really. It's a really realistic pattern and it's not that hard to tie. So let's get started. We have an Ahrex NS110 hook in the vise. It's a size 4. And we're gonna go ahead and start with some Unimono in size 4 thousandths in diameter. So lay yourself a thread base down and we're gonna move right into some crystal flash in the color pearl to spread everything apart and imitate the body of the shrimp. So cut your thread off. And then we're gonna wanna grab probably, start with 6 strands of pearl crystal flash. Double them over, however you get them out of the bunch is fine. All right, go ahead and get that tied in. It should extend about a 1/2 inch, maybe smaller fly, 1/4 inch off of the hook bend. So tie that in and you can just wind this up, create an underbody here. Snip the excess once you get to about the 70% mark. You can throw that aside if there's enough to tie another fly with. So wind that down. So once you have your crystal flash tied in, you can grab yourself 2 epoxy mono crab eyes. These are really nice. You do a really good job at imitating most crustaceans' eyes. So size it up to be about halfway the size of your crystal flash, and we'll tie the one furthest from us on first. You want one on either side, and keep those on the side of the hook shank and not on top of it or below it. You can choose any color, but these are shrimp pink with a transparent pupil. Blend right in and do a good job at imitating the eyes on this guy. So now you have one tied on the far side. Go ahead and secure one on the side nearest to you. Make sure they're even in length, and just wind that back, and you can use it to increase your body diameter. Snip the excess and wind your thread right back to the eyes. So for legs, we're using silly legs. It's the color pumpkin and fire orange. I like these tipped ones, give a little variance to your fly. So we're gonna go ahead and tie in some silly legs. These are the color fire tip pumpkin orange. So you want 2 on either side, and start with the side nearest you and keep it all mid to below the hook shank. And once you have 2 tied on the side closest, go ahead and fold them over to the side furthest from you, just like this. A rotary vise does tend to help. And get them on the other side. That way they're below the body of this shrimp, which is exactly how the natural needs to look. All right, so now that you got your legs tied in, we need a saddle hackle. It's a sort of rust grizzly. Great compliment to this fly as well. So get that tied in with the shiny side towards you. And we're just gonna go ahead and palmer this evenly spaced. It doesn't need to be real tight. And you'll notice that this feather is short if this were a dry fly. It extends just above the hook point, which is how I want it to imitate the legs of a shrimp. So go ahead and palmer that. You'll see those nice evenly spaced wraps, and you can cut the feather off. And once you've got that wrapped, just go ahead and snip the top fibers off because we're gonna add a shell back here. Gonna grab some SF fibers. This is in the color UV shrimp. Does a really good job at matching those sand shrimp and the grass shrimp, which are common shrimp on most saltwater areas, especially northeast down to Florida. So what I do is taper everything to a point, just to imitate the natural look of the shrimp. And I let this extend about 50% of the crystal flash that you tied in. And we're gonna just lay them directly on top of the fly, and we can just cut that right now and just tie it in, just a few wraps. And you wanna leave this for the tail. See how it imitates the tail of a shrimp? You can leave those fibers there. We're gonna coat this whole thing with UV resin. So go ahead and whip finish, throw a half hitch, and then whip finish here. And then we're gonna get started on some UV resin. We'll be using Loon UV Clear. This is thick. You want to completely coat these fibers, and you want to make sure that it penetrates the fibers, and we'll use our bodkin to ensure. So I'm just going to lay a base down, and we'll work that in everywhere before we hit it with the light. So grab your bodkin, and you can hold this. We're going to do 2 coats of this. First one will set the shape, and then the second will provide a smooth finish to everything. So use this to build up the body of the shrimp, and you can take it right up to about the eyes. That'll prevent fouling and just maintain the profile. You can kind of see it coming together already. And you'll see if you use a darker hackle, shines through and creates nice barring. So now that we have that evenly dispersed and spread out to get the profile we want, we're going to cure it with the light. So hit that. All right. So second coat now, and all of the materials that we used for this fly are available at tridentflyfishing.com, and all orders over $49 do ship for free. It's a pattern that'll catch fish whether you're in the south or the northeast, and I'm sure it would even work on the west coast for some fish that eat shrimp over there. Shrimp are a common item on most saltwater menus. So now just add that second application to smooth everything out and kind of put the finishing touches on the body there. You can see how this looks quite shrimpy. So once you're satisfied, go ahead and hit it with the light, and you'll see those, some of the fibers do tend to have some of the adhesive, the resin on there. If you cure it and then pick it off, it's a lot easier than trying to get rid of it whenever it's still wet. See, they'll pop right off then. And the final step here is to just trim these fibers a little bit. That is an ultra shrimp. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.